Hollywood is bursting with romantic films. We've seen them all. The perfect-looking man meets the perfect-looking woman. They fall in love. They live happily ever after. Usually it's featuring beautiful music which makes you experience how beautiful and perfect it all is. You only have to turn on the radio, and after a few minutes, there's going to be a song just full of emotion about love and perfection. This is not real life. This is not real life at all. I have not met anyone who does not have some relationship gripes to contend with or come to terms with. Even couples that get along perfectly will ultimately have a few bumps in the road. And this is a natural part of any marriage. We all experience ups and downs in our journey together. The difference is some couples find the journey much more of an out-of-control roller coaster. They stop talking and the only solution seems to be divorce. And by the way, divorce does not solve problems. It's likely you would meet someone else, marry them, and face the same annoyances with them. The pattern can continue. Giving yourself marriage guidance is a natural part of making marriage work for you, rather than against you. Marriage, it's not a prison sentence, it's a journey, sharing the highs and lows of events, helping and supporting each other. Do you remember ever being asked about attending pre-marriage counseling? If you've never heard of this concept, let me explain. Premarital counseling, it's designed to reduce typical stresses, and it gives you and your partner a better foundation for your new life together. In reality, as you find yourself drifting further and further apart and arguing with increasing intensity, anything you absorbed as theory becomes difficult, if not impossible, to practice. And as you're both unique individuals sharing a journey through the highs and lows of life, you have to experience marriage before it really, takes effect, for lack of a better word. It's a bit like sitting a child down and explaining in great detail how to ride a bike. You have to experience riding a bike in order to understand the movement and motion. If your marriage is spiraling out of control, you may remember talking so positively with each other when you first met. That twinkle in their eye when you would meet, it all feels like a distant memory. And it's likely that you feel judged and criticized or unsupported or alone. Maybe your partner has had an affair, or you've seen a text message from another person which makes you suspicious. Maybe there's nothing, happening involving another person. You simply feel your marriage is in fact downward, uncontrollable, and you need to take a break. I want you to stop and just take a breath for a second. Take a few deep breaths. And just think back to when you first met, when life felt simple. Try these two ideas. First, how can you get a small piece of this time back? One fun approach is to look at photographs. Get out, or print some photographs of how you were when you met, and look at these photographs together. What fun things did you do together? You can create a photo montage if you have the photos in a frame for the wall to sort of remind you both of this happy time. And secondly, what could you change in your week to bring a small spark back? Even if it's promising you'll sit down together once a week and eat dinner together. Those 5 or 10 minutes are the starting point to propel you in a new direction as a unified couple. So using one or ideally both of these is giving yourself positive marital guidance. Because these strategies are sort of the beginning of opening up the communication within your relationship. You've hit a rocky patch, but that doesn't mean it's the end. It's extremely typical for a person struggling with marriage woes to feel depressed. This is natural. But let me ask you, do you find yourself getting angry even over small things? Maybe that pile of clothes that's always left on the floor, or the dishwashing never done to your standard, or maybe it's being told that, your spouse is going to be home from work late, and it's always after 8 or 9 or whatever. Whatever it is that annoys you, it's bound to have detrimental effects on your mental health. So recognize these thoughts and how you're focusing on the negative, and make it a point to counteract this kind of thinking with an appreciation of your spouse for all the small and big things that they do to make your life wonderful every single day. And it's also typical in these situations for your flight or fight instinct to be activated. And back in the time of the cavemen and women, the flight or fight instinct, it was fundamental. And if you were approached by a large animal, you had to make the split decision for your very survival. Do I fight or do I run? And the easiest action is to run. And that's what lots of people tend to do. It's the safest and the easiest. So the fight or flight analogy within marriage guidance is asking yourself, do I stay and work things through and help myself find a better future with my partner? Or do I take the seemingly easy way out? And just to clarify, splitting up, separating, and ultimately divorcing is the furthest thing from an easy way out. You owe it to yourself and your relationship to watch my free video at mindyourmarriage.com right now and learn how to restore your marriage and rekindle that romance, really starting in just minutes. So check out that free video right now at mindyourmarriage.com, and I'll see you there. Take care. Bye-bye.